Hello and welcome back to the radio room. Still making some progress on the Drake 2C. In the last video, we did find that there was the retaining tab on one of the transformers was hitting a leg on a capacitor and causing the radio to not to work at all, basically. So I'll show you what I kind of did on that. I was trying to figure out, okay, do I need a way to insulate it? Do I want to put something underneath here? I didn't really want to put anything on the bottom of the radio because gravity might make it fall out over time. But I did come up with a solution for the top, and I don't think it's too intrusive. Let me see if I can get this in the camera frame right. So right here was the retaining tab, and what I've done is I took a piece of single ply, I don't know what the best term is, a cardboard, and these have, as you can see, kind of have a curve to them. So I cut that so it would just fit inside of there and follow that curve. So it's the cardboard, I guess you could say, is almost kind of spring-loaded, or at least it's keeping that spring-loaded portion from going in. If you ever needed to remove it, you just slide the cardboard out, you could push that in, and then, of course, lift the transformer out of there. But it does not move now. So it's just following the curve, as you can see. And that seems to be working really well. I also did an alignment on the radio, which was very difficult because I could not hardly get any signal level through the radio, or at least out of the radio, in the radio, I'm not sure. As you remember, I was using this homemade adapter, which I kind of had my doubts on. For one, we're going 75 ohm coax to this impedance bump, really major impedance bump, into an SO239 chassis mount through an adapter, and I was using my tiny SA to do the testing as a signal generator. So let me see what this thing is doing now. I'll show you what it's doing now with this. It's going to take just a moment for this. These wires right here, these red and greens, are just going to the speaker right now. If you're wondering. So I got the filaments heating up right now. Go ahead and turn the volume down. Turn it on. Sounds like we got a little bit of static. That's about half volume. So let's go ahead and put a signal into it. Let me see where the radio's at right now. Let's go to the 20 meter band. You can already tell just from me changing that we do have a lot more stuff going on in the radio now, since we got rid of this problem that we had right here. 20 meter band, you can actually hear, I'm going to sweep back and forth past it. I'm using the pre-selector, which tunes the input of the radio. I'm hoping y'all can hear that increase in static. So that's basically pre-selected for the 20 meter band. I'm getting a little more volume out of it right now because of the tubes are getting more in conduction. So let me go ahead and get a signal here. Let's do 14, about 250. 14.250 megahertz. I'm going to modulate it with, I'm going to use a 500 hertz tone. To me, 1,000's a little abrasive sometimes. So 500 AM. I am going to go to AM. Oh, I'm in AM. And let's try a negative 73 dBm signal, which just for reference sake, that's normally an S9 signal. That's 50 microvolts in a 50 ohm load for S9. Got it turned on. we're not really hearing anything. Let me give it a little more signal. Let's try negative 60 dB. Just now starting to hear the signal. I don't hear the tone yet. So let's go to the right strain. Let's go to negative 50 dB. And now you can start to hear that tone. So let's find out where we... Let me make sure I'm tuned in good. Let's try negative 55. I can just barely hear it. And that's basically the conditions that I did the alignment on. Barely being able to hear it. But I did get something in the that came in today. The adapter. Instead of using this monstrosity, let's try it with this. See what kind of difference it makes. For one, this is what I had on hand. I threw this together just so I could hook something up to something to try and do something. We're getting rid of this. We're going to use this. Alright, I'm turning the volume down. Turn this on. You can hear it no problem now. So that just kind of shows you, and that's barely giving it some volume. That just goes to show you we weren't getting hardly any of our signal into the radio either. So let me take the level down some. Before we couldn't even hear it at what would be an S9 level. You can still hear it. Now my Tiny SA only goes down to negative 76. But you can still hear it quite loud. If I can ever get the Motorola service monitor working, it'll take it way down. We'd actually be able to find the noise floor of this radio. But that's definitely working a lot better than it was before. So, I think at this point, I did want to tell you one thing. I did also change the capacitor that I was mentioning before that I was waiting to change. This is it right here. This one, it's an 8 microfarad. The schematic calls for a 4 microfarad. So we got that changed out, and that's probably maybe helping some things too as well, getting the S meter to work a little bit better and whatnot. So I do got that changed out. I did check this with just an ESR meter, which I'll get right out here. Let me make sure it's zeroed. And this cap had some problems. I'll get this the right direction, it might work better. So as you can see, when I just touch it to the contacts, it doesn't really work. I actually have to flex the leg. And y'all can't really see that in the camera. Let me see if I can get, maybe I just need to get rid of some glare here. Trying to be very careful where I put this on here. Got glare from everywhere. Let's lose a little more light. Okay, so y'all might maybe see the needle, kinda. So y'all can probably maybe see the needle right there. So when I put the ESR meter across it, the needle barely moves. Unless I wiggle the legs. And then it doesn't really come down very far. It's still... So I think this capacitor was probably bad. So that probably didn't have any damping on the meter. But we got that replaced. That was so much loads of fun. This board right here had to come out. And it's real fun. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 connectors that you have to unsolder off of one off of a tube right here, the other one off of a transformer over here, and then you still can't totally remove it. You can just kind of lift it up like this to try to get to those solder points. Fortunately, did get in there and get that done. That's probably the hardest one that I've had to do on here. The two on this board weren't as bad as this one. I actually ended up doing these without removing the board. Very carefully getting the soldering iron back here without touching anything else. But so let me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hook this up to the antenna system. And let's find out if we can actually even hear signals. We've got signal generators working into it at some fairly lower levels. Let's get the antenna system hooked up to it. Once again, we're on 20 meters right now. Oh, I can already hear something. Ah, there's voices coming out of the Drake. See if I can tune them.
You and your family have a wonderful holiday and a Merry Christmas. 7 3. 70 feeling all the best. Same to you. Radio X-ray. 7. Well for Papa.
It's alive! And it's working. Gotta be really gentle on the tuning. So that's the 4.8 pass band. Which isn't very friendly. Go to 2.4, cleans it up real nice. Oh yay, the radio's working. Finally. Okay, I'm gonna check the AVC. Okay, this is no AVC.
Oh, that's probably pretty good. That does sound good. Yeah, to me, I don't care for it straight up.
Slow AVC, that sounds a little bit better. Fast AVC. And pre-selector's working good.
Or beefalo. As a matter of fact, they were crossbreeding buffalo and beef Angus back in the 80s. That was pretty popular.
Yeah, let's try 7 meg. Go to lower sideband. My antenna's not exactly tuned right now for 7 megahertz, but
anyway, it was great talking to you. I think you was Bill or Phil, but what I really want, or what I want to do for my future is what I'm planning to do is go to reserve in the Canadian Armed Forces.
RF gain is working.
And hopefully we'll find this content and try to find the
You can tell that pre-selector's real. Gotta find just the right spot. So let's tune around a little bit.
part of it. But you know, if you have a Jeep, you gotta put tires on it. I mean, I'm doing the same thing with trailers. I mean, man, I don't change trailer tires anymore. My boat trailers, my pop-up camper trailer, man, I swap them out. I don't push my luck at all. And they sell trailer tires, you should replace them every 5 years.
Sounds good. It's got a nice sound to it.
And
I'm
I
using
believe it,
an
and I do it. And even
old
I know where I'm
Motorola
at. I'm
speaker,
driving a
probably
my pop-up camper, probably
possibly around the same vintage as the radio.
they get 5 years from my
It does have the original speaker cone in it.
3 times a year. I'll replace it because I'm just not going to have. I've had several flats on trailers,
So
and it's no good.
the radio is working. It seems to be working well. I still have tubes coming in for it. You know what? I might swap them out, see if it changes anything on it. But I'm not really sure if it's going to improve something. There might be, maybe some of the tubes are getting a little weak. I don't know how old they are. I don't know if they're. I doubt they're the originals for the radio. They could be. But I'll get maybe swap out some of the tubes, see if it improves anything, makes it even more sensitive. But it's fairly sensitive right now. This is the antenna system's tuned for 20 meters right now. We're listening to 40. Let's go down to 75. See if we can hear anything there.
What in the world?
Seems to be working well on 75 as well. Well, I'm getting about S6, S7 signals right here. And the antenna is actually tuned for 20 meters. So I'd say it's pretty sensitive. Yeah.
You're going to sit right there neat in front of us, huh? Well, it wouldn't be hard to do because y'all don't like salad. Oh, I eat salad quite often, just not for supper every day.
Well, let's try these different bands. Don't know if there's anything on 21 megahertz. There's something here. Ten meters. This starts at 28.5. So I guess it's possible. Like I said, the antenna's tuned for 20 right now, so. Okay, so why don't I put the, I'm going to go ahead and put the 100 kilohertz crystal oscillator in it. Let's see if it works. Slide it into its socket. Turn the radio back on. Just going to go to 20 meters. Okay, now on this particular radio, you'll notice I got this just plugged into the back. I've internally shorted this, just using it as a shunt. Don't drop things into radios, by the way. And it goes in the mute slot on the back here. Without that, as you can see, right now we're pretty much receiving.
Maybe 1.2 TH11DX
Okay, so normally without this in, and you'd be running external mute off of your transmitter or something. In order for the radio to receive, this has to be when you're in the external mute position. So let me show you what happens. Normally the transmitter or whatever relay you're using has to short this jack in order to make it receive in external mute. So without it, you have nothing. With this, you can go to external mute, the noise blanker, or the calibrator position and actually hear it, but it won't work unless the jack is brought to ground. So right there's on position. It's not shorted. You get your receive back. So let's go to the calibrator. And I'm going to turn this down just in case it's loud. I haven't tried this yet. And we should hear a tone on sideband at every 100 kilohertz. Okay, that's that one, and just so you know, that's the calibrator. So that's at 14.300, 14.200, 14.100, and 14 megahertz. So the calibrator is working as well. And back to
That's too loud, too close, and just cool. Well, you're in the opposite situation there now.
I guess that's good. So did you move up there to retire this?
And we're back to receiving. So the project is definitely coming along. We're listening, we're receiving on a receiver, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. So basically at this point, like I said, I redid, after I got this adapter in, I did go through the alignment procedure again, because some of it does say, you know, feed a signal in and check this or check that, or tune a transformer for peak on the S meter. Well, it was so hard getting signals into the radio with this that there was a lot of really listening to the speaker, nothing else going on in the radio room, and fine peak and stuff. Once I got this on there and fed a signal in there, even a negative 76 dB signal, no problems hearing it. Probably an S7, S8 reading on the S meter. Really made it easier to peak the S meter when doing that tuning. So, and in comparison, when running back through the alignment, I actually got it pretty darn close, just gluing my ear to the speaker just about, and almost not breathing, just trying to hear a tone or a signal, because I was getting no S meter deflection, which could be because of two things. One, I didn't have a very good signal coming into the radio because we were losing so much in this. We were probably losing, I bet you we were losing 40 dB through this mess. Once I got this adapter on there, we don't have the impedance bump going into it. So I was able to do the realignment without really having to hear. I could actually see something moving on the S meter too. The capacitor I replaced could have been causing some problems with the condition it was in for the S meter to even work at all. So we're definitely in good shape right now. What we're going to do is I'm going to finish cleaning it up. I've got some of the knobs on here because those are just really hard to move, these wafer switches without a knob on there. I still need to clean them up a little bit. They got a little bit of dirt, a little bit of, just grime from over the years on them. I want to clean those up. And I'm going to... The speaker I have hooked up right now just has an 1/8 inch mono plug on it, and that's why I have the alligator clips going to it while I was doing this testing. I'll probably end up using this speaker. It's just an old Motorola. It sounds really good with it, and it is a 4 ohm impedance speaker, which is what this receiver wants. I'll probably go ahead and put an RCA phono jack on it so I can plug it in the back. Right now I'm just alligator clipped to the earphone jack. which is exactly the same output as the external speaker jack. The only difference between the two is this has a switch in it that turns this off if you're using the headphones jack. So as far as levels, it doesn't have a lower level on the headphones. It's the exact same output. They're just parallel to each other, basically. So get it cleaned up a little bit more with the knobs. I'll get the case dusted up and cleaned up real good. Put the case back on it. Well, I think that's just about it. So I'm thinking next video, we'll have it in the case. We'll take a look at it. We'll probably listen to it a little bit more and enjoy it. And I'm still wanting to put together a video. Try to not make it too long of one. Where we actually go through the schematic and explain how we're getting from a signal here to sound out the speaker. Just a quick overview on how things are mixing and what frequencies they're kind of using in each spot before it comes out the speaker jack. So I just wanted to bring you up to date. We're pretty much good to go. Let's listen to some CW real quick. Let's just see what it sounds like. Okay, I'm going to tighten this up to the 0.4. Mount some. All you FT8 fans out there. A little bit of FT8 coming through the Drake. Something that it never would have heard when it was first manufactured.
The machine's going to take it. And
but I am so happy, so excited that the radio's working again.
No problems at all on the copy. And
this thing's been sitting on a shelf, and I kept looking at it. It was on a shelf, kind of on display out in my living room, and I'd see the thing, and man, I really want to get that thing working. And it's been a few years, but
we do get a chance.
There we go.
You have the time to enjoy it again.
It's working.
Hopefully it hasn't changed too much.
Thanks for stopping by the radio room. Like I said, we'll probably have one more video on this radio with it all together and probably kind of going through the schematic and seeing how it works. And that'll be probably the Drake. I'll put it up in a spot, get an antenna thrown up outside. Nice thing about a receiver, just get some wire up. I might pick it for a band, maybe 20, maybe 40. I don't know. Maybe this is something I just want to use to when I'm working out here in the radio room and just want to listen to something in the evenings. So maybe I'll do it for 40 or 80, 75 meters. Don't know yet. But the nice thing about a receiver is that just get some wire up. Give it something to pick up pluck some signals out of the ether and channel them into the antenna jack and enjoy receiving. Somewhere in this radio, just I wanted to let y'all know this, I cannot remember what component it was, but I actually found a component that had a date on it, and it was 1969. So this is probably this radio was probably manufactured in 1969, so 2023, it's 54 years old. and still going, or going again. And that was probably the main problem right there. That one little tab right there, and I kind of have a feeling maybe that's why it was quit being used. But it's got a new cap kit in it, realigned, and sounding good. So thanks for stopping by the radio room and joining me with listening to some voices coming out of the old Drake. So, bye for now.